Hello my cutest of all cutinesses. I did the look of Michael Jackson with Thriller yesterday and I was so proud of it, and when I wanted to start editing it wasn't recorded again, so please bear with me. I'm gonna try to do it the same or almost the same as I did yesterday. All I did was use my base makeup like foundation and stuff, and all the rest was eyeshadow. So for now, for today, I'm gonna try to replicate the look I did yesterday, but maybe to let it go a little bit faster I will use maybe some concealer. Now I used this L'Oreal Le Teint Encore Parfait in number 4, which is a light beige foundation, and I applied that with one of my favorite brushes, and it's not of any it doesn't matter at all which foundation you use because it's gonna be completely covered, but we need that base. If we don't make that base and if we don't powder it off, we're gonna have problems. Now I forgot to glue down my brows. I got about 4 to 5 hairs there, and 99% of it are always in my way. They don't need much, they don't need to be glued away completely. It's just, I know that yesterday it was a little problem because the brows that I drew on were just above my own, and my own 4 from the 5 hairs that I have came peeking from underneath. Now I am going to take my nude BB powder from L'Oreal and I am going to set everything. Now I'm very well gonna powder these brows because I am challenging myself to do this without prosthetics and without paint. Now I am prepared. This video is really all about making darker and making lighter, shading and highlight. I'm taking a very small painting brush and I am going to take black powder. I started right there with a tip and a bow. So you make a point that is really pointy, because if you don't make it that pointy you will never get that shape that Michael Jackson has in Thriller, and that is a point up there and a point down here. So it's kind of, you start off like you're making a square, but the 2 other sides are going to be rounded. So you start off actually by building a square shape, and then you round this one off, and then it's more a straighter line, also with a little roundness, and then you have some kind of an egg shape here going on, or actually it's the shape of an eye, but this has a little curve this way. But as I am outlining, I made that a little bit lower, and then I connected it to that. So you have this very weird looking shape. This shouldn't be that far actually, but don't mind if you make a mistake or make something a little bit different, because it's always right. A zombie never is the same, because they got pieces falling off and stuff like that. Now this I colored in completely with a black pencil yesterday, and that was so hard to do because my skin is way too loose, so I am going to try with a cheap black eyeshadow. And I'm going to use a pencil for the waterline. So I make these eyes actually my starting point of everything, because they are the center of this complete look. They are what attracts the most attention. So I'm now filling them in with a very cheap black, and ooh, my nose is itchy, with a cheap black powder, just to give that image already from the start, and then build around that. Geez, this is going so much faster than yesterday, but I never ever practice, so this is for me very weird to do a same look for the second time 2 days in a row. I only do that if there is a problem with the video. I never do looks in advance to try them out or so. Never do that. I always try while filming, and I edit that same film. So this is actually the start of my entire look. Yesterday I did not do this, but today I am going to use concealer there, there, there. Actually, I am gonna frame the black completely with concealer. I did this all with powder, but it took me about 4 hours just for the light shading mostly. So now I'm just going to use a little bit of concealer to start off on the places that need it the most, so that once that is tabbed in a little bit, I will be able to build on from there. So I'm going to use my finger to tab in the concealer, and I'm not gonna do that beautifully lined. I'm just gonna wipe it around that black. Literally just dabbing it over my powdered face, because it's a working off and not a base coat. And he's got this white mustache line. up and around his lip. So I am letting this concealer be a real firm layer. Now I have a milky mustache. Yay! And then I took a green color. I used it from this palette, and it's this color. It's a light khaki green. It does have a little bit of shimmer in it, which is not supposed to be in it, but now with that green, I am gonna start the shadings. So first of all, the wrinkly lines. More wrinkly lines. The mustache. And for once in my life, my own wrinkles are, yippee, a guideline for me. And his cheek is always rounded like half a moon. So it's a pretty straight line down with a half moon shape that goes to the upper side of his ear. Actually, you can bring that. And then you can use a bigger flat brush or a bigger fluffy brush or whatever comes at hand. This is just a tapered round brush, and I am taking that same color. I'm just extending what I just did and blending it out a little bit downwards. And in the direction of my hollows of my cheek. Later on, I will be making that the darkest, really where my hollows are. And I'm also using this green already to coat a little bit of my ears, because I'm gonna swipe on all the darker colors and even brighten up a little bit again. But the inside curves need to be the darkest, so that's that. Then I am making a line that goes up his forehead, there. It's like a big wrinkle that, or a vein that runs across his forehead. And he has that more spotty like next to it too. And he has that darkness then around that white that's around the black of the eye. That's gonna be green too. So I'm now covering my own brows with green. I am also making the temples very, very dark and very deep. And if I do this, I can really see where my temples are. And I am going to be using my own features because I have discovered that they match with Michael's. Also next to the eye it's dark. And under the eye. This part, and if you really make a bad frown, You see how dark that has to get there. But that we all extend with brown later on. So this is just a base coat that's green to start off the entire look actually. So it's a little bit of guideline. And the nose itself is completely dark too. And around it, the shadings I will be doing with brown afterwards and with thinner pencils, but the starting off shadings I am all doing with this army green color to deepen out any creases that are already in my own face features. He also has, instead of just the chin, a very dark spot in the middle beneath his lip. And then that dark mustachy like thing. So this is the beginning of the look. Cause this is Thriller night. There ain't no second chance until the beast about to strike. You know it's Thriller night. You're fighting for your life inside a ghetto thriller. Sorry, couldn't help myself. I like doing these looks so much, but you all know that already, cause you know me. Yesterday, as you can see, I almost completely killed my color tease of my Urban Decay Naked Palette number 2. So now I am really gonna have to scoop out everything of the color tease. But I also found, making a dust cloud here, so I can use, no, this side, I can use these brown colors first so that I don't have to use all my color tease. But taking a lip liner, I never use things what they're made for because they're so variable. You can use it for anything, so let's just do so. So now with the color tease, I am gonna start defining all the wrinkles and making myself look really dirty and creepy and evil. Now I am going to deepen out these hollows of the cheeks even more, but also keeping that crisp line, because that jawbone and my cheekbones and my collarbones and whatever bones I got have to be very visible. In the meantime, I keep on tabbing and adding the color tease. Now these green lines that I have started, I'm taking my brush with brown color. I'm putting my brush more flat so that I can shade and fade it out away from where the light falls in to get the evil of the thriller. I'm gonna outline the brow area, which is higher than that white. So this part has to be really dark, and that darkness goes up into the temple area, but that I'm gonna do with my fingers or a bigger brush, but I am making this line very visible. Am I looking evil yet? Am I looking zombie-like yet? So I am again almost dropping everything, but using all my own wrinkly features, filling them up. Now below my lip I am making a dark line, but in between, and I'm trying to find a flat brush, there is a light line. And this time I'm not using concealer, I'm only using powders. But I am going to use a little bit of a lip moisturizer. It is going to make the powders stick, of course. So there is a very pale line right beneath. And right on top of the lip. I'm already trying to let this be very pale. I'm using my finger to make that white stand out more. Because my whole face has to be covered completely with colors. Now for the nostrils, the lower side is all white and the tip of the nose, and all the rest is going to be dark. I'm going to use the same pale, almost white beige color that I'm using to put over the concealer around the eye socket. And I'm mixing in some white, it's just to make that stand out even more. And in between the most outstanding wrinkles, of course I am using this pale too. Of course on the chin, here, on the wideness of his bigger jar area than I have. If you were doing eye makeup. If you see this lip, I'm taking a little more dirty brownish color and I'm going a little bit more to the middle of my lips. Ooh, nice. That's the way, I like it, And then with a little bit of darker brown, I'm also gonna add here. But on the lower, the cheekbones actually, they do have a very wide pale color. So I am going to make this line, and yesterday I also made it completely around the frame of my face. But this shadow is to give the illusion that his cheekbones are also, just like the jawbones, really popping out of his face. Very skeleton-like. If you want to do this makeup yourself, just take a look at the white lines that I made. So a frame around your chin, around your face, on your jawbones. And then you leave a little gap for the green and the muddy stuff, and then you make that pale circle around the black filled eye sockets. It's to give the illusion that the eye sockets are even sunken in much deeper than they really are, and they are going to be darkened out a lot with black, so they're going to be really set into my skeleton, into my face, my skull bone structure, whatever you want to name it. So in most places I'm just dabbing it on instead of wiping. My eyes are much smaller than Michael Jackson's, so if I open my eyes it's totally not creepy. The sclera lenses that he wears in Thriller are not an option for me, so I am going for the that bright yellow animal-like type of lenses, but I saw that these contacts yesterday on the pictures gave so much the wanted result, so I'll just be using those again today. Now again, going to the color Tease, here we are again, and now some serious shading and creating real depth from the middle part of the places that have to be shaded, and I'm adding the color Blackout, and I am going to start on dabbing and blending along all the lines. So I'm really gonna make it very dark, very deep set, and I'm also gonna use Blackout on the eye socket. On the nose, I am going to make my wrinkles again, redefine them with this black, to give that evil grinchy, yeah, how do you call it, a real browny grinchy look. And now with my finger I am going to blend the harshness of these lines away, adding a dark brown right underneath, because powder on powder blends the easiest way, of course. Now I am going to take this brush and the color Blackout, and I'm gonna black out my neck. I'm gonna start off by using my neck muscles as a guideline and go to behind my ear, and I'm gonna start beneath the chin, just beneath that white line, to apply Blackout and make this line as straight and crisp as possible, because it's a muscle shape that you're following, and just wipe some black over the ears too. I am going to fill my collarbone a little bit too, but I don't think you will be seeing that with my jacket on. And as I might have mentioned, it is a jacket that belonged to my husband, but he isn't wearing it anymore, so his mistake. And now I am taking a smaller brush, a paint brush, and I'm also going to take the color Blackout, but I'm going to go on the inside of this. And the easiest way is stretch your own neck and muscles. And as we all know, a man has got this special thing that we women do not have. The Adam's apple. So now I am creating a shadow in this middle part, but I am leaving a little place where I can take with my finger the palest color of powder that I've used, and I'm just dabbing that on there to create the illusion that there is a bump. I'm gonna take a little bit of the blackout out of this pencil, and I'm going over to a medium brown. And I'm gonna start blending the blackout towards the brown, and ending again at the edge with dark brown. I have my Adam's apple. As you see, my voice is getting a lot lower because I am a man now. Just kidding. Okay, now these lines, you can also take the beige and add a little bit so that it matches the Adam's apple. So I'm now cleaning my hands a little bit because I'm gonna touch my eyeballs. And I'm doing this because there might be some water running out of my eyes that's gonna ruin the black makeup. So I put on my contacts first and then adjust the black eyeshadow. So let's just pop in a lens or two. I really don't understand why some people have a hard time getting lenses in. You just put it on your finger and pop it in your eye, plop, and it's there. Scoop up my lens with the tip of my finger, open my eyes, pop it in, let go, and that's it. Easy as 1, 2, 3, do, A, B, C, you and me. I'm possessed with Michael Jackson these last few days. So what's left to do is make the eye sockets as black as possible, and this time I'm going to do it with a small brush, and of course with from Urban Decay Naked Palette number 2, as I said before, the color Blackout, to make everything as black as the night. Just following those same lines that we already have created, and just making the black more sunken in the sockets. Now to do my waterline, I am gonna take a black pencil, just a creamy eye pencil. I'm not gonna tight line because I hate tight line. I think waterline is more than enough, because if I'm gonna tight line too, there's not gonna be any eye white. I was almost saying egg white. Eye white visible. And then we are almost done. I think I'm ready. I'm only gonna use what's left in this brush to go on the inside. And make my lips really dying off, zombie-like. I think this is the total image, like they would say. Now I am taking my BB cream again before I'm gonna fall into pieces completely. I am setting and blending it all with a very, very fluffy brush with a very light hand. I am setting it all, tabbing it on to the blackout around the eye sockets, because that could blend out, which is not supposed to happen. But the rest is all allowed to be a little bit blended now. And I hope it's okay, because I'm not seeing a damn thing anymore with these double lenses. There. I'm gonna finish off my look, and I am very sorry I do not have a curly wig. It will be a short black wig. I will be back.
Darkness falls across the land, and midnight hour is close again. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize your neighborhood. And who shall be found without the souls or getting down by standing haze the hounds of hell and lock inside a corpsey shell? If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, you better do so.
'Cause this is thriller night. You ain't no second chance until the beast's about to strike. You know it's thriller, thriller night. And so on. Give me some thumbs up. Leave some comments down below. And for now, there's only one thing left for me to say, and that is 1,000 tensions in the air, the funk of 40,000 years, and grisly gloom from every tombs are closing in to seal your doom. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver, for no real mortal can resist the evil of the thriller.